Good afternoon and welcome to the Collaborative Experience, a series of 3 workshops demonstrating the collaboration between music and various other art forms such as dance, storytelling, and visual art. In this series, we are showcasing talented artists from the Greater Burlington locale. My name is Angela Paparizo and I'm the Manager of Arts and Culture right here in Burlington, Ontario. I would like to introduce our producer and pianist, Charles Cozens, Vice President of the Arts and Culture Council of Burlington.
Thank you, Angela. It's my pleasure to be here. We would like to thank the Community Support Fund of Burlington for their generous sponsorship of these 3 workshop programs. And today's program is called The Radio Play and is the second program in our series entitled The Collaborative Experience. At this time, I would like to introduce our 3 storytellers and actors for today's program. John Hewson, Valerie King, and Lori Zazzolato. Welcome.
In this program, we get to see the creation of a brand new short story, but with a little twist. You see, John, Lori, and Valerie right up to this moment do not know what the choice of the subject material is. Once they have created the story, our 3 storytellers will perform it twice. The first time without music and the second time with music. And our pianist, Charles Cozens, will improvise a score to support the emotional elements of the story. By comparing the 2, we can see how music interacts with the spoken word. How does that make you feel?
Can't wait.
A little nervous, maybe?
A little nervous,
yeah. Okay.
No stress. No stress.
Okay, would you like to know what the subject material is?
Absolutely.
Oh, yes.
And the winning theme is... one of you finds a wallet containing $10,000.
No pressure. No pressure.
Welcome to the collaborative experience.
And the radio play.
Okay, so topic is 3 people find a wallet with $10,000 in it. We need a beginning, a middle, an end, some kind of conflict, and we want it to be entertaining. So, has anybody got anything yet?
I think we can start maybe that they're looking at something and they're not quite sure what it is, and then they hunt it down and they find it, they open it up. It's like, oh my God, it's $10,000.
2 minutes though.
Yeah.
Any thoughts, JR?
To me, I guess the issue is the debate of whether to give it back or start planning. You know, I mean,
Yeah,
that's
somewhere in there, yeah.
that first quandary, I guess,
Yeah.
in a sense, the honesty, dishonesty, and then if he's going to be or she dishonest, then the drama in here begins to unfold. What could I do with 10,000?
Something entertaining. Okay.
What do you have?
Okay. It's got a flash. Don't know if you like it, but so 2 people find the money and they argue over whether or not they're going to give it back. So, of course, there's going to be one good person, one bad person. The good person's going, no, we should phone the police because maybe it belongs to someone, you know. We don't know what it's for.
Yep.
And the other person's saying, no, let's just split it, right?
Conflict right there, sure.
And then what's the third person doing?
And then the third person, I think, is going to be the spouse of one of the people. And they come in and then they join in the debate about whether or not they should give it back or they should keep it. Here is the kicker. She says, I got that money from the bank this morning and I dropped it on the driveway because it was a surprise. I was going to pay off our mortgage with it. So now the person who wanted to keep the money is her husband. So now, of course, the other neighbor's going, see, it was your wife's money. How do you feel now about keeping money that doesn't belong to you? And so he says, okay, great. So then
You've written the whole thing
no,
already.
I'm just saying, I'm just trying to make it interesting, right? So anyway, so now we know where the money comes from. So they're going to keep it. And then we need some kind of trick at the end. So I think the trick at the end will be that the neighbor leaves and then the husband says to the wife, that's so nice, you were going to pay off our mortgage, what a surprise. And then she says, I lied, it's not our money. because she wants to keep it too. So then the husband says, that's why I love you, because they're both evil, because they both wanted to keep the money. It was never actually their money.
We can go something with that theme. I'm not sure if it's going to fit in. Like they find the money, like they're finding the money first.
The two of the characters have found the money, right? And they're arguing
So
over
they're
what they
still
should,
all in the same room
what they
together.
should what they should do with it. And the third person's not there. Then the third person comes in, and they want to get that person's take on it. And then the third person, who is the spouse, says, oh, did you find that outside on the driveway? I got that at the bank this morning because I was going to pay off our mortgage. It's the last payment on our mortgage. Surprise. So then the neighbor says, oh, okay, then it's your money. Now
What?
we don't have to have this dilemma. And so that neighbor leaves. And then the wife says to the husband, actually, I didn't find it. Actually, I didn't take it out of the bank. It's not ours, but we're keeping it. So it's
Why
kinda
don't we
like
start
that.
off with a sentence? The first line. We'll figure out the first line, and then we'll all add something into it after that, and then see where it goes.
So like I said, I'm just trying to figure out, because we need a
Yep,
beginning, a
yep.
middle, and an end. So that was kind of like,
Yep. So start with the first sentence.
okay, so we'll have, so it'll be two neighbors and a spouse, right? So we'll call one the good neighbor, and then we'll have, and the bad neighbor, who's the one who wants to keep the money,
And the spouse.
and then,
I think one of the ways to get some good tension in here is to have the husband agreeing with the other neighbor and disagreeing with his own spouse, because that's then introducing
That would be good, yeah.
a lovely triangular
Yeah.
tension.
yeah, but the spouse doesn't come in till it's the,
They
that's
can-
why it's
Well,
a,
we
They
can
can
have the
find it
spouse
all.
come in
They can
anytime
find it
you
all at
want,
the
though.
same time.
All right, okay.
Yeah, they can all
All right.
be there together finding it.
Sure. I mean, you could be part
but
of
then if she announces that, oh, I got the money this morning, then there's no,
But then we can
Well,
change.
we don't need that
We
many.
don't
Okay,
need to
all right.
necessarily keep that.
all right.
Yeah. Okay. So first line.
So what is the story then? Because
So
we need
I just
beginning,
thought
middle, end.
we can just sort of they find the money, like they're looking.
Yeah.
They're three of them are out for a walk. They find
Yeah.
the money, like they don't know what they're looking at first, and then they realize that it's this $10,000 and
Okay.
how they're going to react, and then that's when the dialogue can start. It's like, well, I think we should keep it. I don't think we should. Blah blah blah.
So then what is the resolution then? What is the ending?
Well, we'll figure that
I
out.
think the resolution is that the wife walks, not
think we
like
should
the
keep
end
the
of
money.
the marriage, but that the wife and the husband end up not speaking to each other, and the husband goes out for a coffee with the other woman because they're morally in agreement. Husband, let's make
I
the
actually
guy a
like
good
that.
guy instead of the rat. His wife wants to keep it.
Yeah.
He thinks you should give it back. The neighbor thinks they should give it back. They argue about that, and then
I like
the
that.
neighbor and the husband go out for coffee feeling highly moral,
Yeah.
leaving the woman who wanted to keep the money standing there, in a sense, feeling like a bit of a and yet angry as hell at her husband.
Yeah.
And she's left there alone. The money drove them both away, her keeping it.
So then she ends up probably giving it back in the end because she doesn't want to lose her friend
But
and her husband.
remember,
Yeah.
we don't have to resolve
But we don't
the
have
whole
to resolve
story.
that,
I mean,
yeah.
only
Well, I'm just saying
500
we need a
pages here.
beginning. We need a
Okay,
beginning.
so we're
middle,
out
and
for a
end.
walk.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, it's like something like, oh, geez, what a beautiful day. It's like, what is that thing over there? Some sort of thing. It's like, what is
So
that
which
on the road
which
up there?
neighbor finds the?
I'd make it the wife's decision to keep, which may mean she's the one that found it, because that
Yeah.
then leads to the other two.
Okay, because like I said, we have
Morally
two. We
ganging
only
up
have
on
two.
her.
That's the thing. We only have
Yeah,
2
yeah.
minutes, so there's not going to be a
Yep,
lot
yep,
of time
let's-
for like argument.
No, there won't be.
No, I mean there's
So
only
let's
there's,
just get what we're going to do, how they find the money.
so
Or
there.
they have the money already.
There's wife, husband, and neighbor, those three.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So how do they find the money? Do they find it or
I think.
are they already in the middle of this conversation?
I think wife ought to find it and come running in and
Oh my gosh, look what I
front
found.
lawn or something
Yeah.
with the money. Look what I found.
Oh my
Okay,
gosh, look
so
what I
wife-
found.
wife-
Yeah.
And the husband's nearby, neighbor
Yeah.
is nearby, and then the conflict
Yeah.
starts to build.
Well, you know what? She can just
And then-
walk. She can walk in with the bag of money. So then now all 3 of them are there. So we don't
Yeah,
have, we don't
yeah.
have time for setup.
Yeah,
so
yeah,
the wife walks
yeah.
in
She
with a bag
shows
of
up
money.
with it, and the other two
so
are there.
the wife says,
Oh my
look
gosh,
what-
look what I found, yeah.
Yeah, look what I found.
And they said, what?
And she's all excited,
And then
of
she
course,
can start
'cause she's
using
gonna
the
keep it.
argument too, like, you know, we
Okay,
could pay off
so
the
the wife says,
mortgage.
look what I found outside, and then we're going to have, I guess, the husband says, what? And then the wife will say,
I found money. Let's count and see how much it is. Blah, 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 blah. Looks like it's a lot of money.
so she says, I find money. She counts. And then she says, it looks like
$10,000. Oh my gosh. So I don't know about the rest of you, but I'm keeping it.
And I'm going to be standing by watching the two of you for a little while, which is the, you know,
Yeah.
and then I'm armed, having heard how the two of you are seeing it so differently. I'm
Or
going
the
to jump
husband
in.
says, no, we're not keeping the money.
Yeah.
So he says, I'm keeping this. And then
No.
the husband.
But honey,
Sort of
we
no
can pay
way
off our
sort of thing.
mortgage.
So the husband, so what does the husband say? He just says no, or
Yeah, no,
Does he-
no.
does-
No
No,
we're
blooming
not making
way.
it.
I
We
want
have to
no
take-
part of this.
We
He
have
says-
to, yeah,
I
yeah.
gotta
He
go to.
says,
I've got to sleep at night. That sort
Yeah,
of thing.
yeah.
Bringing in the morality, and that he gives a darn.
Well, I could sleep at night much better
back.
if our mortgage is paid off. Just think about
Well,
it.
True. Yeah. You're the wife. You want to keep it. We're getting
Just
in
think
deep
about
marital
it.
trouble here.
Let's just pay off the mortgage.
We certainly could. Then where are you going to
And
find
where
the money for
and our
marriage
friend-
counseling when I
like,
threaten
what
to
would you
walk
do
out
with,
on you?
with the money? If you found this money, what would you do with it, friend? Like whatever the friend's name is. She could be Sarah or something like that.
So, okay, so she's going to say, I will sleep just fine with the mortgage paid off. And then she can bring in the neighbor. She can say,
Well, what would you do? Yeah, what would you do in this situation?
you do, neighbor. So is the neighbor for or against?
The neighbor is the same as the husband.
gonna do- yeah,
For
she
giving
does-
it back.
I should give it
And that's
back, yeah.
The wife is the odd person out. Yep.
No, I'm not giving it back.
No.
No, like, just think about it. I found it when I was out on my walk, and now, like, we don't know where it came from. Maybe it's stolen money to begin with, so nobody cares, right?
Which do you
It can
value
make a
more?
lot of difference in our lives.
$10,000 or your husband?
I think I'd take the $10,000.
That's just fine. My ego can take it. I'm going out for coffee with Janice. Yeah.
Well, I like the other idea, but it was more interesting, I think.
Life is about more than money. Life is about morality, being able to live with
What
yourself.
did you want to add in there, Lori?
So we have the husband, so we have the wife. I found money. She counts it. Looks like $10,000. I don't know about the rest of you, but I'm keeping this. The husband says, no way. We have to give it back. I won't be able to sleep at night knowing I have someone else's money. The wife says, I will sleep just fine with the mortgage paid. What do you think, neighbor? And then the neighbor says, I think we should give it back. Maybe the person who lost it needs it. And then the wife says, maybe it's stolen money and it doesn't need to go back.
Okay, so what else?
To
can
which
we-
I'll just
how
say,
can
yeah,
we
but
add
you
more,
don't
a little
know
bit
that.
more conflict there?
Well, now I think the husband needs to come back in.
Or something about, like, where are your morals or something like that? Like, I can't believe that you want to keep this money that belongs,
Yeah,
that
exactly.
doesn't belong to you. Like,
Yeah.
this is a moral dilemma. And the husband's,
Absolutely right. You'll
maybe
have
the
a
husband and the
paid-off
friend are
mortgage and
really,
an
really
empty
upset
side
because
of the
this
bed
person,
beside you.
yeah, this person has been like an upstanding person and has never really strayed that way, right? And
No.
so it's a really a real shock. So we have to put something in that might be shocking.
It's the money or me, baby.
Wow. We're half a page in. I think it's
Yeah.
a little early
Well,
to say
okay.
the
Yeah.
that.
We can.
So because we have like I said, just
Yeah,
this
but we
arguing
could
back
end up
and
with a
forth doesn't give us
row
a
in
lot of
which
thought.
you
No, we
try to
have to have
paste
something
over the
else in
row
there.
between us, though.
So I think we're the part where it says, and it'd be nice to have some humor too, because this is going to be a little boring if they're just like yes, no, yes, no.
We can
I
put
can't
the
believe
humor
you
in
want to
there.
keep this money. It doesn't belong to you. Maybe he could say something like, "But I'm not surprised because this is just like you know, using my napkin without asking me, or taking my clothes without something like that."
Sure.
Yeah.
You always do this kind of thing, like, I'm tired of it, whatever. Like, you do this kind of stuff all the time.
And then I'm going to chip in.
Instead
What
of her
would the
being the
rest of
moral
your
person,
family
she's
think
always the
about you?
rotten one.
Your parents, your siblings, what would they think if they knew you were keeping this money? That's, I guess, what I then sort of throw in at you in a moral sense. Who do you think you are? You're just covering your backside with the stale that could have been stolen. How likely that?
So, hang on a second.
It's just like you guys to always disagree with me.
And let's assume we have
You
children
always
still
disagree
living
with
at
me.
home.
Whatever I think, you guys always disagree with me. That's what she's saying.
Yep.
Because you
No,
guys
I like
are,
that. That's a
yeah,
good paranoid. That's
yeah.
a marvelous line.
Yeah.
You always gang up on
Like
me.
you always
You're-
gang up on me.
Okay, so then the husband says, I can't believe you keep this, you want to keep this money, it doesn't belong to you, but I'm not surprised, you do this kind of thing all the time. You take my last piece of chocolate every time
Oh, dear Lord.
and don't replace it. Then we need the neighbor, I think we should have the neighbor chime in after that, and then the wife can say they're ganging up.
Yeah, yeah.
So then the neighbor, oh,
What's the neighbor going to say?
he said, I just don't think it's right. We should at least donate it.
And then that makes sense. And then she can just go into like, you guys never agree with me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're at what length now, page-wise? 1, 3/4 of 1?
But like half a one.
Half a
I said,
one.
there's not a lot of meat here, people. That's why I kind of liked my idea with the little trick ending, but okay. So wife, you guys are always ganging up.
Toss in for me somewhere. What kind of an example are you setting for the kids, as if we have children? The moral
Kids
side
don't have
of
to
it.
know. Kids don't have to know.
That's just another chink in your moral armor, madam.
There you go.
A hole I could drive a lance through.
Yeah.
Okay, so
What have
who
you
is
got
going
there?
to say what would the kids think? Is that the husband?
The husband would say that. Or the friend could say that too. Like, what are you teaching your kids?
Do they have kids? Yeah. Okay. Maybe could say that.
And then I can ask the neighbor what she thinks her husband would think if she had come home with it. So I'm sort of trying to, am I the odd person out? And she, what would your
kids-
husband do?
Sorry, what were your kids
Because
think?
I know where you're coming from.
Think when they find you stole someone else's money. Wife will say
He's always
yes.
yakking about buying a boat. Would he keep the money? I doubt it.
How much time do we have?
Something like that.
Okay, so well, we've gotten to that we should at least donate it to charity. Then the wife says, you guys are always ganging up on me. It's always the two of you against me. The neighbor says, what will your kids think when they find you stole someone else's money? The wife says, it's not stolen, it's found. I say, finders, keepers,
Oh, that's good.
losers, weepers. Right?
Yeah.
And then JR, that's when you were saying something, the husband is going to say something about,
It was just about to the neighbor, what would your husband do? And in some ways, it might be fun if she said he'd be like, what's her name here? He'd keep it too. You know that? We've
Then
been
I'm
having
gonna
a
go and
lot
talk
of
to him.
tensions, and then
I
that
wonder
can-
if the wife should storm out because she's obviously.
well, she can't storm out yet. We're only in one page in.
Are we at one page?
Well,
About a minute and a half per page. Depends on density, of course, but
no,
yeah,
we're
they're short
only
lines.
like
They're not
half
monologues.
page here. Hang on one second. Oops, daisy. Oh, that didn't go well. Okay. All right. And you know what? Hang on.
I think the two of you could end up having a real good little row. The two women, because you said about the ganging up, so you're paranoid. And then
You always liked
you
my
can yell
husband
at me
better
all the
than
time. You're under the same roof. You can't see her every day to yell at her.
my best friend, and you always liked my
Yeah.
husband better than me anyway.
Yeah.
Okay, just
Ever since high school.
Ever
you've
since high school.
Oh, gosh, yeah. Bring in the old days in here. So, by gosh, you
Yeah.
really had a rough go with that lady. Heaven knows why
okay,
you
what
bought
would
a
your
house.
husband say about this neighbor? We could just keep our names just to keep it simple.
Yeah,
He
why don't we do that?
would say the same thing Val says. He would want to keep the money, go on a trip.
Yes,
And you could
of course he would.
Yeah, but you could let slip that you and your husband are having a little bit of a morality split, just as I and you are, which then sort of sets it all up that you got two marriages that look like they're in a little bit of trouble over that. And then we go for coffee.
Well, we can't go for coffee yet because we're still on page 1, people.
Okay.
We're only at,
I think the two of you ought to argue a little bit about having
We're
gone
only
through
at,
school together. And
Yeah,
200
she always
239
used
words.
to tick you up, cheerleading, whatever. I don't know or care,
he
but
always took
pick a
everybody
topic
else's
and fight
side.
about it for a minute.
Ever since high school.
And I can just stand there, shake my head because I don't understand about cheerleading anyway.
so then the husband's going to say, so he would say the same thing Val says. He would want to keep the money and go on a trip with it. And the wife would say, of course, he's smart.
Yes, of course.
And
See,
then-
he's smart. He knows.
And what will
I
your
don't,
response
I don't,
be?
I don't understand why you guys can't
Yeah.
see this. Like, really? Why can't? What's the matter with you?
God forgot the morals when he crafted you, madam.
We have to keep going.
Yep. So that's when the neighbor would have to, if you guys want to enter the thing about the neighbor having, so that's going to be Val. So then the neighbor would have, that's when the neighbor would have to drop something about them having issues. Maybe, oh yeah, maybe that's why we constantly argue.
Who's saying that to who?
The neighbor's saying that to the wife. 'Cause
Okay.
saying, of course
Yep.
he would see he's smart. I don't understand why you don't get that. Maybe that's why my spouse and I constantly argue. We are what? Morally,
We take
Bankrupt.
the moral high ground.
what's that?
You guys take the moral
Yes,
high ground.
exactly.
So maybe put something
Yeah.
in there like that, like them taking the moral high ground, and I
He
always
doesn't
take.
understand.
And then you begin to complain.
and then
Ever since
then
we
I'm getting really
whatever,
mad. Yeah.
you know, you
guess I
ticked
don't know
me
how I
off for
became a wife.
15 years now, you know, that kind of a thing, dating. Let's say you're 35 or 40 and you're going back to your teens.
Mm-hmm.
You always were the goody-goody in a class or something of that sort.
Teacher's pet.
Made me sick. It's only
I
a
don't know.
front
I don't
anyway.
even know why we're still friends.
Yeah, you can get ticked off at
Mm-hmm.
her saying, and it's all an act. You're no different from the rest of us.
Yeah.
You would have kept it, but you think it looks
Oh,
good.
you think you
Yeah.
want to keep
Yeah.
the moral high
Yeah.
ground on this? Well,
Yeah.
you remember that time in high school. You know what I'm talking about.
Oh, I love it. Enigma.
And now you want to take the moral high ground. Huh. Well.
This is almost as much fun as finding that money.
wonder if we can put in there, like, even if we turn, like, if you guys want to say, like, something like, if we turn it in to the police and it's not claimed, then we get it back. Isn't that how it works? Right?
I'm not
And then,
We could say maybe, we'll find out,
yeah. And then I'd be like, no,
'Cause I wouldn't
I don't
know
want to
the
take that
answer to
risk
that,
for crooked
certainly.
cops.
Okay, so now we've gone back to, okay, neighbor, maybe that's why my spouse and I constantly argue. He doesn't understand taking the moral high ground. And the wife says, oh my God, this is just like high school. You were always the goody-goody teacher's pet. I don't even know why we are still friends. And then the neighbor says, I can't believe you just said that. And then the wife says, you just want to look good, but I remember that time in high school when you did that thing no one knows about, but I remember. And the neighbor says, I was young and stupid back then.
Uh-huh.
and you still are.
Just back then?
You still are, yes.
Well, we need to give the husband something to say. So, wife, you still are. And this is when I think the husband should come in and
Where are you on page 1?
So
Near
you're
the
going to
bottom?
defend her.
that's, yeah, he has to defend. So what the neighbor should say, I don't know. What should the husband say? about
Right
the
is
neighbor?
right, morality is morality. There's right and there's wrong. Something very definitive without even content, just black and white, you know, that kind of thing. This is no gray zone,
No, say I.
sort of, because that's the way he
Agree
would
with
think
her.
on that.
Oh, shoot, I agree with her. Right is right. Wrong is wrong. And maybe this is because we have to end now. This is when the wife should say, well, maybe you should have married her.
Yeah, maybe you should have married her. I'm out of here. I'm going for another walk. Like, I just can't take this.
To which I'll say, well, just doggone it, maybe I should.
I'm
Yeah.
out of here.
Yeah. How close to the end, space-wise, are you there? How many more
Well,
lines do you want?
We're at 390 words, and we are technically, hang on 1 second.
Page-wise, you're 1.5, one what?
Yeah, I guess we're about 1.5. We're at 390 words. Hang on 1 second. Oh my God, the thing.
Are we
changed
approaching the
here.
point to draw to an end where, in fact,
Yeah, I think.
And then after
We're gonna head out
storm
for
out,
coffee.
the wife storms out, then you guys like, why don't we just go and have coffee?
Yeah.
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 Okay, let me just do something here. So,
We talked about coffee, and I'll say it's my treat, about the coffee, and it's her loss,
We can
referring
even
to
say
my wife.
that setup, we can even say something like, that setup worked really well because she thinks she found the money, but it's your money. Something like that, a little twist.
well. Oh, come on. Okay, hang on 1 second.
I think we ought to
Oh,
end
sorry,
on a
my,
very sharp note, very
happened
sarcastic,
for some reason?
memorable line. Mm-hmm. The last you hear is the only thing you remember.
Okay, yeah, the margins keep changing for some reason, so I think we're at about 1.5 pages. Okay, because I can't change them right now. Okay, so yes, let's, they leave, so maybe we should just go have coffee, and the neighbor says, yes, let's. Where are we going after that?
Do you want to put in a little twist there of some sort?
Don't know if we have time.
No, we can just say, well, like, that setup worked really well. Like, you're going to have this conversation together and say, that setup really, really worked. She really believes that she found that money.
Yes.
Because you guys really wanted to have the money, But you don't want her to know that. So you guys already... So
You
you're-
are Machiavellian, aren't you? Oh my gosh, I'm glad you're not my neighbor. I'd be worried.
So that's the twist at the end.
That's very nasty.
Thank you.
Okay, so she's out of here, so the neighbor leaves. So she leaves, okay. So she leaves when she says, I'm out of here.
Yeah.
And then
Well, that plan went
husband
well.
can say, that plan went well. My wife is gone. Now we can discuss how to spend the money.
What did you put?
Read what you have there.
So maybe we should just go have coffee, says the husband. The neighbor says, yes, let's. And the husband says, that plan went well. My wife's gone. Now we can discuss how to spend the money.
Yeah. Yeah. That setup went well or something like that.
Yeah.
Now,
That's
yeah.
so nasty.
Yeah. Yeah. I like it.
My wife is gone.
If I ruled the universe, you'd be in trouble.
Leaves. We want to give the money back. Now we can discuss how to spend the money.
Because she leaves the money.
Yep.
Yeah,
Yeah,
she
she
leaves the money
leaves
behind.
and throws the money.
Yep.
Okay,
Yeah.
leaves.
Yeah, let's take a cruise together.
Yeah.
Okay, how about a cruise together? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, I guess the neighbor can say, how about we go on a cruise together?
Yeah.
That cruise that we've been talking about.
I mean, let's face it.
That
If I'm
cruise that
bad
we've
enough
been
to be
talking about,
scheming with
yeah.
her, we're going to be bad enough
Yeah.
to go on a cruise
Yeah,
together.
because they've already had this planned.
Together,
I've already sold my soul, so let's have fun.
like we always talked about.
Yes.
Okay. So I don't know why.
That last twist is so nasty, Val. You really should be ashamed of yourself for thinking that well.
Not at all.
I think we're good.
I'm going to tell your family.
Okay.
On you.
You have to find them first.
I know, they're on a cruise with stolen money. Yeah.
Yeah.
Not leaving any money around you guys. That's
No, no.
okay. So I'm gonna put that here. Just gonna make sure this saves, because that would be really bad.
I never realized how amoral you are. It's marvelous.
Only when I write.
Yeah. I'm the token angel in the group. Yeah.
Save. Are we saving? Okay.
Done?
All right. I think we got it.
Good.
Now we just have to print.
Look what I found outside.
What?
I found money. Oh, God. It looks like $10,000. I don't know about the rest of you, but I'm keeping this.
No way. We have to give it back. Look, I won't be able to sleep at night knowing that we got someone else's money.
Well, I will sleep just fine knowing that the mortgage is paid. What do you think, neighbor?
I think we should give it back. Maybe the person who lost it needs it.
Well, maybe it's stolen money and doesn't need to go back.
I can't believe that you want to keep this money. It doesn't belong to you, but, you know, I'm not surprised. You do that kind of thing all the time. You take my last piece of chocolate, for heaven's sake, and you don't replace it. God!
I don't think it's right. We should at least donate it to charity.
You guys are always ganging up on me. It's always the two of you against me.
Well, what will your kids think when they find out you stole someone else's money?
It's not stolen, it's found. I say finders keepers, losers weepers.
What would your husband do if it was just he'd found it?
He would say the same thing Val says. He'd want to keep the money and go on a trip with it.
Well, of course he would. See? He's smart. I don't understand why the two of you don't get it.
Maybe that's why my spouse and I constantly argue. He doesn't understand taking the moral high ground.
Oh, my God. This is just like high school. You're always the giddy teacher's pet. I don't even know why we're still friends.
I can't believe you just said that.
You just want to look good. But I remember that time in high school that you did that thing. No one knows about it, but I remember.
I was young and stupid back
Oh,
then.
you still are.
I agree with her. Right is right, wrong's wrong.
Well, maybe you should have married her. I am out of here.
Yep, maybe I should have. Look, maybe let's go for coffee.
Yes, let's.
That plan went well. Oh boy, my wife is gone. She believes that we want to give the money back, and now we can discuss how we want to spend it together.
How about we go on a cruise together, like we always talked about?
Oh, great. God, you're a bad woman.
You have no idea.
I love it.
And now we're going to do it with music.
Look what I found outside.
What?
I found money. It looks like $10,000. I don't know about the rest of you, but I'm keeping this.
Oh, no, we're not. We have to give it back. I wouldn't be able to sleep at night knowing I had somebody else's money.
Well, I will sleep just fine with the mortgage paid. What would you think, Lori?
I think we should give it back. Maybe the person who lost it needs it.
Maybe it's stolen money. It doesn't need to go back.
I can't believe you want to keep this money. It doesn't belong to you, for heaven's sake, but I'm not surprised. You do this kind of thing all the time. You take my last piece of chocolate and you don't even replace it.
I don't think it's right. We should at least donate it to charity.
You guys are always ganging up on me. It's always the two of you against me.
What will your kids think when they find out you stole someone else's money?
It's not stolen, it's found. I say finders keepers, losers weepers.
What would your husband say about this?
He would say the same thing Val says. He'd want to keep the money and go on a trip with it.
Well, of course he would, see? He's smart. I don't understand why you don't get this.
Maybe that's why my spouse and I constantly argue. He doesn't understand taking the high moral ground.
Oh my God, this is just like in high school. You were always the goody-goody, teacher's pet. I don't even know why we're still friends.
I can't believe you said that.
You just want to look good. But I remember that time in high school when you did that thing that no one knows about. But I remember.
I was young and stupid back then.
You still are.
I agree with her. Right is right, wrong's wrong.
Well, maybe you should just have married her. I'm out of here.
Well, maybe I should have. And maybe we should just go have some coffee. Oh, boy.
Yes,
Yeah.
let's.
Oh, did that ever work well? Wife's gone and she actually thinks we want to give the money back. Now we can discuss how we're going to spend it.
How about we go on a cruise together? Like we always talked about.
Oh, wow. What a neighborhood. Feels different with the music, doesn't it? It does too. Inside does feel different. You sort of.
So it threw me off. I thought the music was going to just be interspersed, but yeah, that was cool.
Oh, I want to hear what you're going to play. What kind for the next?
Do we have?
Well, we can do it again. What I'm going to do this time is I'm going to take a couple of the same themes that I had, and I'm going to space them out a little bit differently, see how it feels. So let's do another take, all right?
Yep.
So I'm going to start it off the same sort of.
Look what I found outside!
Oh, what?
I found money! Oh, it looks like $10,000! Oh, I don't know about the rest of you, but I'm keeping this.
No way. We have to give it back. I wouldn't be able to sleep with myself a week knowing it was somebody else's money.
Well, I will sleep just fine knowing the mortgage is paid. What do you think, Lori?
I think we should give it back. Maybe the person who lost it needs it.
Well, maybe it's stolen money. It doesn't need to go back.
I can't believe you want to keep that money. It doesn't belong to you, but you know, I'm not surprised. You've been doing this kind of thing all the time, years. You took my last piece of chocolate. You always do that. You never replace them.
I don't think it's right. We should at least donate it to charity.
You guys are always ganging up on me. It's always the two of you against me.
Well, what will your kids think when they find that you stole someone else's money?
It's not stolen, it's found. I say finders keepers, losers weepers.
What would your husband say about this?
He would say the same thing Val says. He'd want to keep the money and go on a trip with it.
Well, of course he would, see? He's smart. I don't understand why you don't get this.
Maybe that's why my spouse and I constantly argue. He doesn't understand taking the moral high ground.
Oh my God, this is just like in high school. You were always the goody-goody, teacher's pet. I don't even know why we're still friends.
I can't believe you just said that.
Oh, you just want to look good. But I remember that time in high school when you did that thing that no one else knows about. But I remember.
I was young and stupid back
Oh,
then.
you still are.
I agree with her. Right is right, wrong is wrong.
Well, maybe you should have married her. I am out of here.
Well, maybe I should have. Maybe we should go for coffee.
Yes, let's.
Hey, boy, that certainly worked well, didn't it, eh? My wife is gone and she actually thinks we're going to give it back. Well, now we can discuss how we're going to spend it.
How about we go on a cruise together? Like we always talked about.
Hey, neighbor. I love that twist at the end. That's really nice. Thought was.
I like it, yeah.
I love it with the music.
Yeah. Feels different. Very definitely so. It's more
energized.
Well, that was indeed lots of fun. Tell me how you feel about your collaborative experience today.
I loved it. I thought it was so much fun to do, and it was interesting to work with two other writers to create something in that short of time. And I think we did a great job. I'm really proud of what we did, and then to have the music added into it it was amazing.
When you did the performance with music, what did you feel inside as
more
opposed
energy.
to
More
Exactly.
energy. Yeah,
more energy
yeah.
without any question. I mean,
yeah,
it
very
felt
good.
It felt more
emotional, more up, more down. Yeah.
felt more energetic, more interesting. It kind of inspired the reading as well.
Good. Well, it's nice to see that sort of collaborative experience because the interaction between a literary platform and a musical platform.
I thought internally it really made a difference.
That's great.
Definitely.
That's
Yeah.
great.
Yeah, we felt that too.
It created a lot of energy kind of like on two levels because, to work with two other writers already, you're kind of like pushing the envelope and then you add music to it. So now you're trying to raise your energy level to that of, your two co-writers, and then you throw the music in and it just kind of generated a great amount of energy and inspiration, I found.
Fascinating.
I'm wondering what would happen if there had been quiet but similar music during the actual writing of it. That would have affected. Now, I understand the technological issues here, but the energy that we got doing the reading might have been ramped up as well during the writing.
It's quite
I think it's an
possible.
interesting idea sometimes.
Yeah, that's food for thought for another project.
Yeah. Sounds like a plan. Don't forget my name.
Oh, well,
Smith. Bill Smith. Yeah.
Well, thank you, John, Lori, and Valerie, and Charles, for your artistic contribution to today's program.
Thank you for having us.
We
It was
thank
you so
wonderful.
much.
For the opportunity.
thank you,
to
Angela. It
support.
was so exciting to see the story being created in real time, a true collaborative experience.
We hope that you've enjoyed this program, and we look forward to seeing you again.
Until next time, goodbye.
Goodbye.
Bye.